Okay, 9 o'clock. So Radhe Radhe. Good morning, good evening, everyone. A very warm welcome to today's edition of Daily Wisdom from Bhagavad Gita. So let's get started with today's topic. We will continue on our journey on 5.7 and starting with our opening prayers and the soul soup segment. Same pinch, by the way, Abaji. Let me share my screen. Give me a sec. Share. Okay, I'm able to share now. All right. Are you able to see my screen? Great. Give me a sec. All right, we'll get started with our opening prayers. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. So Radhe Radhe. Good morning, good evening. Very warm welcome to today's edition of Daily Wisdom from Bhagavad Gita. So let's get started with our Soul Soup segment. By the way, this prayer that we do, we pay our obeisance to Guru as well as the original Jagat Guru, which is none other than Lord Krishna himself, who gave us this message, beautiful message of Bhagavad Gita. And we pay obeisance to Guru because Guru is like Brahma, Vishnu, and Mahesh. Why Brahma? Because he gives us knowledge, imparts us knowledge. Why Vishnu? Because he maintains and preserves the knowledge for us. And why Shankar? Because he destroys the ignorance. That is why a guru is equated to Brahma, Vishnu, and Mahesh. Now let's get started. Madhusudan is back. Let's keep an eye out for Madhusudan. The name itself is a little tricky. So let's move on. Soul Soup segment. Starting with our Soul Soup segment. Okay, so we are doing success, happiness, and fulfillment series. So today we are going to talk about grudge. Do not hold a grudge against anyone. Okay, this is a very important thing for us to, as you see, these two people, they are holding a grudge, sitting back to back. It's like they call it katti, right? We used to do when we were kids. So when we get upset with somebody and hold a grudge, this is the worst thing we can do to ourselves. Now, why it is important not to hold a grudge? Let's try to go a little deeper into this topic. So resentment is like taking poison and waiting for the other person to die. This is how the resentment works. And if someone hurts us, it is very natural for us to feel resentment towards that person. But the problem is that in bitterness, the mind gets fixated with negativity. And when it is fixated with negativity towards the object of hatred, then it's like the vessel in which you hold that acid, it it basically what you call that affects the vessel or erodes the vessel more than anything else. So when you hold that poison inside you, it is going to cause you inconceivable harm. We can't even understand. One is, of course, in your you are harboring that bitterness, that poison that is affecting your emotional health, physical health, and all those things. But more subtle or more lasting impact is with regards to your sanskars. That bitterness is like digging a pit for yourself that you only have to climb over. There is no other way. Everything has a price tag to it. Now, in this particular case, if you have dug a pit for yourself by venting out that frustration or by harboring that bitterness or falling into that rut of negativity, sooner or later you only have to climb over it. Nobody else can climb it for you. So the deeper you dig, the higher you'll have to climb out of it. Whether you climb it out of in a week, a month, year, this lifetime, next lifetime, million lifetimes, you only have to do that. So it is a lose-lose proposition to harbor resentment, bitterness, or negativity towards anybody. Even in Bible, Luke 23:34, it is said, nothing, Jesus had said that, Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing. Right? So there's no point in having bitterness even towards people who are harming you. But that doesn't mean you become a fool. Forgive the person, but do not forget the lesson. That is a key thing. Right? That is what spiritual mandate is for us. Now, what is the best way to overcome resentment? We first understand. See, it's like Maharaj used to say that this world is like a madhouse. So when you go to a madhouse, you don't get surprised why this person is acting like this. Or you when you go to a hospital, you are not surprised that why are this person suffering. It is meant to be a place where you would expect that kind of a thing, right? So same thing, this material world is inhabited by materially conditioned souls. We are all materially conditioned souls, and we are under the dominion of Maya, right? God is called Mayadhish, we are called Mayadhin, and they are full of material imperfections. That is a fact of life. We are all having material imperfections. If we were a perfected soul, we would have been called Vishuddha Atma already. We are not there yet. Now, some of you might be who are doing Leela, but majority, I'm talking about majority, okay? Now, for their self-interest, people will sometimes hurt or they may even cheat us. So we should not be surprised when this happens. Right? Like we said, we have to preempt trouble. We have to preempt this as well. But the trick is to see the hurt as a blessing in disguise by thinking in a lateral way. Now, what is lateral thinking? Thinking differently. Now, how do we think? Like if somebody, in worldly attachment, if somebody hurts us, right? In the world, somebody can emotionally hurt us. Very possible, and I'm sure everybody has been hurt by that. Then it is an eye opener about the real nature of the world. You simply think in worldly attachment, I had forgotten the real nature of the world, and it is an eye opener for me. This is the sentiment you need to harbor when you get emotionally hurt by somebody. Then what happens? Now, if you're you are too attached to somebody, him or her, and he or she cheats you. Now you've understood that everybody is selfish in this world, and God alone loves me selflessly, and my true relative, as the scriptures say that. That is how you dovetail that sentiment as opposed to becoming bitter. Now you have really dovetailed in the right manner. Now, if a person is repeatedly provoking you, there could be people who are playing on your nerves, right? This could be one of our topics in our Thursday segments as well, right? People can provoke you. They might be troubling you in one way or another. Then you will retain the peace of your mind. That is another sentiment that one can harbor. And you will see those provocations, the way to look at it is as test of God to help me master the virtues of tolerance, forgiveness, and patience. We're going to talk about it. And we're going to talk about some of the other aspects of it as well, right? Doesn't mean that you have to continue to practice that. I mean, we will have a good discussion around this topic today because coincidentally, it matches with the topic that we are going to discuss today as well. Okay. So these are some of the sentiments that can be practiced to look at that adversity in perspective and not get stuck in the trap of harboring grudge or resentment towards somebody continually. Okay, it's not a good thing. Would you like somebody to, let's say you have a house, would you rent it to somebody for free? Right? And that to somebody who's causing damage to your house. So it's like somebody's causing damage to your house and you have rented it, and that person is not even paying rent to you. What kind of a proposition does that sound? Doesn't sound true, right? So that is exactly what we are doing when we are harboring resentment or hatred towards somebody. We are letting that person rent our mind for free, cause us damage, and we are more than happy to let that continue to happen, right? So think of it. That is exactly what is happening when we are harboring resentment. Now, a saintly person, he came to a pilgrimage and he took a motel, a dharamshala, and then when he was trying to sleep, it was full of mosquitoes. Okay, and he did not have odomos or anything. and it was full of mosquitoes, and they made the mince meat of him that night. So then he realized he could not sleep. He thought, even the mosquitoes in this place are very benefactors for him, because they are making sure that he spends his night in sadhana and does not fall asleep. That is the sentiment he harbored to get out of that situation, right? So it really depends on how we look at things around us, right? Those mosquito bites is symptomatic of the kind of bites we get from people around us, right? So we look at it as an opportunity to understand the real nature of the world. And yeah, it's like we always focus on the trouble that is being caused to us by others, and forgetting that we are also part of the same game. Right? We are also cause of trouble for a lot of people around us, right? And which we are not aware of. We always give ourselves a benefit of doubt with that regards, right? Like it's like porcupines huddling together. You are getting needled. You are feeling that pain, but you are not aware you are also needling somebody in the process. So let's cut slack to others, understand they are all operating out of self-interest. So are we. So let's simply understand the nature of the true world and dovetail our emotions and energy towards something which is worthwhile. And in this case, it would be God, right? Because He's our true relative. And when you understand the true nature of the world, it should help you develop detachment and learn from it, and not again get fall into the trap of attaching your mind to things, people, and things which will eventually lead to disappointment only. So we'll continue on this topic. Now let's get to the topic of our discussion, which is Bhagavad Gita. Okay. So it's very important not to have that grudge against anyone. And other important aspect of it is when you hold grudge against somebody, that becomes your object of meditation. Okay. So if that becomes your object of meditation, if that person becomes a donkey, you also have to become a donkey next life. Okay. This is how it goes. Now, if you make God your object of meditation, even if you do it in hatred, it is not advised for normal human beings. For people who are doing Leela, they can do it like Ravan, Kans, and all. It's not a recommended sentiment at all. But you will end up getting the object of your meditation only. And you cannot bet on any person, right? You cannot bet that they will come back as a human only. We don't know which prarabdha will get tricked, activated for them by God in next life, or what they would have in their mind at the time of their death, which would basically make you follow, and you might derail your journey completely. Okay, so that is another way of looking at it. Anyways, so now let's move on to our topic. I'm going to recite the shloka and we'll take a few hands. Let's make Shirama co-host today, because she's going to have a presentation towards the end, which I'm looking forward to as well.
Sure.
Yoga Yukto Vishuddhatma Vijitatma Jitendriyah Sarvabhutatma Bhutatma Kurvannapi na lipyate. Let's take a few hands.
Go ahead, Sandhya.
Yeah, Radhe Radhe. योग युक्तो विशुद्धात्मा विजितात्मा जितेन्द्रियः सर्वभूतात्म भूतात्मा कुर्वन्नपि न लिप्यते.
Go ahead, Shyamji.
Yeah, Radhe Radhe.
Radhe.
Yoga Yukto Vishuddhatma Vijitatma Jitendriyaha Sarvabhutatma Bhutatma Kurvannapi na lipyate. Radhe Radhe.
Thank you, Shyamji. Let's take the remaining 3-4 hands.
Go ahead, Dr. Kumarji. Radhe Radhe.
Radhe योगयुक्तो विशुद्धात्मा विजितात्मा जितेन्द्रियः सर्वभूतात्मा भूतात्मा कुर्वन् अपि न लिप्यते. राधे राधे.
Okay. Udeji, Radhe Radhe.
Pradeshi, please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe.
Yoga Yukto Vishuddh Atma Vijit Atma Jitendriyaha Sarva Bhutatma Bhutatma Kurvannapi na lipyate.
Thank you,
Radhe
Pragiji.
Radhe.
Radhe. Let's take the last two hands. Today, Amruta Vaniji is on the site as well. Great. Today's a lucky day. All right, Riyaji, please go ahead.
Please go ahead.
Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe.
योगयुक्तो विशुद्धात्मा विजितात्मा जितेन्द्रियः सर्वभूतात्मा भूतात्मा कुर्वन्नपि न लिप्यते.
Very nice.
Thank you, Radhe Radhe.
Yes, Samruta ji, please go ahead.
योगयुक्तो विशुद्धात्मा विजितात्मा जितेन्द्रियः सर्वभूतात्मभूतात्मा कुर्वन्नपि न लिप्यते. Thank you.
Nice, thank you, Amrita ji. So let's get started. In this shloka, we started yesterday. Lord Krishna is saying the Karam yogis who are of purified intellect and who control the mind and senses see the soul of all souls in every living being. Though performing all kinds of actions, they are never entangled. So let's get started. We'll do a quick recap and then we'll get started. So yesterday we spoke about from date to dates. So this is where we are right now, where we are going to talk about shloka 7 to 12, acting in Karam Yoga. What does it mean? What are the symptoms of a Karam yogis or attributes, so to say? And what can, what it leads them to and how does that unfold, each one of those, right? Like Vishuddhatma, Jitendriya and Vijitatma, we are going to talk about in these shlokas. And yesterday we said that the word polysemic Atma is used in different contexts, right? Vishuddhatma, there, and then the Atma, where pure soul, and then the conqueror of the mind is Vijitatma, conqueror of the mind. Is Vijitatma, I think that question came up, but we're going to go talk about it in more detail. One leads to another, possibly. There are relationship between, now somebody may do a, what do you call that, dissertation on this, that if you're a Vishuddhatma, have you become Vijitatma? Or if you're Vijitatma, are you Vishuddhatma automatically? Do both overlap? Is there an intersection between the two, or both are mutually exclusive? All those combinations can be worked out, but I would see it as a pack of noodles. You get one and the others will come automatically, right? A pure mind can lead to a lot of things automatically. A pure mind, that means you've already gotten control over that as well. And a pure mind, you would already acquire all the noble virtues and happiness, joy along with it. That is all a symptom of a pure mind itself, and the perfect knowledge as well. Anyways, we'll talk about it in more detail. Bhutatma, and then we are talking about soul of all souls, which is God himself. So Atma is used in different contexts in this particular shloka. We spoke about it, and yesterday we looked at this context, that concept that when you move towards this concept of I am the enjoyer, towards God is the supreme enjoyer, and when you reach that realization, that is when you are said to be a Vishuddhatma, because now you are situated in perfect consciousness, because you're perfectly aligned and have that perfect knowledge that you are nothing but a servant of God, and God is the supreme enjoyer, and you cannot assume that position artificially in between. And if you do that, then it will lead to binding karma. And then we looked at the hoarding aspect of it, a parigraha, where humans look at, they say, right, they are worried about their future, overly worried about their future, and we stock food in advance. None of the species on the earth does that, and they take only as much as needed. Now, if a elephant needs 20 pounds of food, you serve it 21, it will refuse. You give extra grass to a cow, it will refuse, and a pigeon will not take more than it needs for the day. Right? Same thing happens with all the species. It's only humans, we have that tendency to stock up thing, and that insecurity manifests in different walks of life as well, including hoarding and stocking up money and stuff like that, which invariably keeps on getting passed from generation to generation. Okay? So this is a hoarding, insecure mindset that we have. But when you are situated in Vishuddhatma, these kind of things do not trouble you, is the key message. Then you are situated with a perfect understanding on how this universe operates. And then these kind of insecurities, the sensibilities that we have around some of these things, they are put in proper perspective. Now we looked at his story as well, pretty interesting story on what do we end up losing, right? When we come empty-handed, what is there to lose actually? I think Steve Jobs in his speech had also said, yeah, right, don't be scared, or don't be fearful about trying things in life. You're already, there. So it's like there's absolutely nothing that we create or take away We all we take from the environment and ecosystem around us, and with the support of so many people. So what's a big deal even if we lose everything or give it back, right? So that mindset, of course, it's a very pretty advanced and elevated mindset, but that actually puts things in perspective. We don't take anything along. We never had anything to begin with, right? It's just the intermediate stage where we build all these emotions about things which are transient in nature anyways. Let's move on. What are we going to discuss today? Story time. Okay, so story time I have put, but am I prepared for the story as well? Let me see. Okay. All right. So this is a good story. Hopefully it will turn out. So there was a thief. As you see, thief. Now this thief, he was running from police. Okay, for a good reason. So he was running away from police, and on his way he found a preacher. And this preacher, when he found a preacher, he just masked himself and sat there. And this preacher was actually giving a lecture on Bhagavatam. And he put a scarf around his face and then simply sat down there to hide from the police. Now, preacher at that point was describing a pastime of little boy Krishna with his mother Yashoda. And in the pastime, the preacher went on to describe the appearance of this boy. He was bluish complexion, wears a yellow pitambar, and so on. Okay, so this is what he was describing. And this is the verse that he was saying. Kasturi tilakam lalala patale vakshasthale kaustubham nasagre navamoktikam kartale venum kare kankanam. So basically he was saying that, you can read through that. It's a beautiful verse where good for Rup Dhyan as well, where he said that Sri Krishna Kasturi Mast Tilak, red ritual mark decorates your forehead and Kaustubh jewel ornaments on your chest, Nav Moktaga, the pearl ornament on your nose, fingertips graced by a flute, wrist is ornamented with a bracelet. Now, all that stuff, about Lord Krishna is talking about, but the thief being thief, his focus is on the jewel ornaments and the adornments that he's talking about. Okay, he's just focused on that. So when he's focused on that, he asked this guy, the preacher, he says, so many jewels that when he heard it, it immediately captivated, his attention. And he said that lecture finished and police had gone. So he went to the preacher and asked more about his head. He said, does he wear a lot of ornaments on him? I mean, did I hear you right? He said, of course. He said, yeah, he wears many ornaments made with extremely precious jewels. And then Thief asked, how expensive do you think these ornaments? The preacher said, extremely expensive. And you cannot buy just one earring of Krishna, even if you sell the whole planet. Now, costume money, right? We have a costume here who plays tabla also, right? So his costume money is the one which is close to Krishna's chest, right? And it is so expensive that even the whole planet, this whole Brahmand cannot buy that. Now the thief was extremely excited. He said, I've been doing choti moti robbery. This is the big fish I need to catch. Okay, so he became very happy and excited. And he became impatient to meet this boy named Krishna. So he asked, where does he stay? How do I meet this guy? And preacher said, this pastime of Vrindavan, Krishna roams in Vrindavan with his friends and on the banks of Yamuna. That's what I've heard. You can find him there. He said, really? And then immediately the thief rushed away. He said, okay, about time to retire in life. Do one big robbery and I'm done for the life. So he rushed his journey to Vrindavan without waiting to hear anything or thinking about anything. And then on his way, he kept meditating. He kept meditating on the form of Krishna as described by preacher with tilak on his forehead, kaustubh jewel, all the ornaments, bracelet, the nose, whatever ornament he was wearing on the nose and around his waist, and the bracelets and the bluish little boy. So when he reached Vrindavan, so this is when he started, right? This is all he was thinking about along the way. As you can see, he's meditating on Krishna. And when he reached Vrindavan, he waited on the banks on the river for Krishna to appear. That's what the preacher had told him, and he had a good reason to believe him, right? Lo and behold, what happens? Krishna did come. So when the thief saw him, he immediately recognized him. He said he was taken away by his beauty. He was like, he almost forgot why he had come to find him. And he asked Krishna, oh, are you Krishna? Krishna said, of course, I'm Krishna. He said, are you son of Mother Yashoda? He said, yeah, I am. And then he asked him, can you please give me one of your jewel? The thief asked. The Krishna said, if you, it's like you're asking somebody for his toy. So Krishna said, but my mother will scold me if I'll give this jewel to you. And then he was so close to Krishna, seeing him, the thief's intellect became pure. Now he's looking at God, right? He was meditating on it, that form throughout. And just by being in that aura, his intellect started getting cleansed and it became pure. And he forgot why is he asking for Krishna's jewel. He forgot why the Krishna does that, right? Do you know that Leela where the gopi had caught him red-handed catching butter, and she had told her mother-in-law, I'm going to catch this boy. And when I'm going to catch this time, I'm going to catch him red-handed. And she caught him red-handed. And then she tried to wrap his hand with a rope that, okay, I'm going to tie you. My mother-in-law will come and I'll show her the proof that I've caught him. But when she started tying him, his hand was so beautiful, she forgot how to, she was so mesmerized by the hand that she forgot how to tie the hand. And every time the thread would slip from her hand. So Krishna said, okay, shall I teach you that? She said, yeah, sure. And said, okay, why don't you come in my place and I'll show you how to tie around. And she came in his place and he simply tied her around and vanished. Okay. So anyways, the point here is when you come face to face with Krishna, these kind of things happen. And the same thing happened to this thief as well. And then he forgot everything and he just had an immense surge of love. He felt that surge of love erupt in his heart for the boy named Krishna, and he simply went away, right? And then the Krishna, he simply went away because thief forgot, and then Krishna went away. And thief said, you go away as you may like from my eyes, but I'll not let you go away from my heart. Something similar to what Surdas had said, right? That is what the thief said as well. Anyways, thief came back and the preacher, and he told the preacher his experience. He said, I actually met that guy. And preacher said, really, can you take me to that place? He said, sure. And then he took the preacher to the bank of Yamuna and waited for Krishna to come. His mind was always meditating on the form that he had seen, and sure enough, Krishna came. And the preacher, and he said, told the preacher, there you see the boy is coming, but the preacher is not able to see because he had not really perfected that, right? Probably he didn't even believe it, right? Like we all hear about Leelas, but we don't have that belief. But in this case, thief had. And he's telling, right, but this guy was not able to see until he heard a voice echoing, right? Akashvani. He said that you came here with doubt in your mind, but this man came here with full faith and he could see me, you cannot. However, since you are associated with this man and who's my pure devotee, you've all also been blessed to hear my voice. Krishna did not show his form though, right? So when the thief heard about Krishna, he innocently believed him and his mind kept meditating on the Lord. And when he finally met the Lord, his intellect also became pure. So the point here is he could see Krishna and this guy could not see Krishna. But if you think about this, the reason I brought in this story was in order for us to reach that stage of Vishuddhatma, this is the fast track to Vishuddhatma state. If you meditate on God, if you have belief, it will get cleansed very quickly. And the state of Karam Yoga that Lord Krishna is talking about, the Vishuddhatma and all, it will automatically, it'll be fast tracked. You'll be fast tracked to that process. Okay, I see a couple of hands. Yes, go ahead, Sandhya.
Um, Beautifully described. Wonderful story. So thank you, first of all. Uh, I was just wondering, so the thief started being a selfish seeker, though he was concentrating, meditating perfectly, but he was selfish. But after he saw Krishna, looks like he became selfless. Like, is
Yeah.
that, and Vishuddha and I mean, follow-up question, are Vishuddha selfless or they can still be selfish?
Even if you do Sakam Bhakti, you'll get the effect, right? That doesn't mean Sakam Bhakti will become Nishkam Bhakti on getting that, but God will still give you that. But the point was his intellect was bereft of material desires at that point because he got a bigger rus at that point. Right now, this might be a story in isolation. It's like playing a cricket test match. You are seeing somebody scored 1 run, right? And people are clapping. People are saying, wow, something big happened. Another guy has scored 30 runs and nobody's clapping. Why? Because previous day, he was already on 90 and he scored that 10. So we don't know what is the context of this thief, right? This story is there. But this thief might have had past sanskars, right? And he already had, maybe in this life he became a thief, but then he was already on the cusp or the tipping point of perfecting his devotion and he could meditate on Krishna so easily, right? How many of us can do that actually? But yeah, he did approach it with the Sakamta, something in his mind, but Krishna still gave him a result. Or now, does it make him Nishkam, or it simply eroded his material desire? We don't know, right? But Vishuddhatma does not, I mean, Krishna is not talking about here that Vishuddhatma means that you would become selfless, right? Especially if you attain God in that state. I don't know about that. That might be a deeper question. The point here is, however you have perfected your devotion in whatever bhavs or sanskar, that is the result you will end up getting. But it will get cleansed when you come in contact with God or when you do God realization. Your
So if
intellect
he was, yes, so if he was selfless to start with, then he would have gotten more closer to Krishna.
possibly, maybe, because if you think about the highest prize of God is reserved for the selfless devotees, right? Samartharati, the gopis. Now, I don't know which level of devotion this thief fell into, but yes, selflessness takes us to the highest prize for sure. But this concept is more related to how do we cleanse our mind. So the selfless is a discussion in itself, sakamta, nishkamta. This is more about this concept of reaching that state of Vishuddhatma. So when we meditate upon God, it is automatically, our mind is automatically getting cleansed, because that is the end objective of Karma Yoga as well. So the point that comes out of the story is, when we meditate upon God, when we do Roop Dhyan, this is a fast-tracked way to attain the objective that we are trying to attain even through Karma Yoga. Okay, so that's why Maharaj Ji used to highlight the importance of Roop Dhyan in every places. So that is the whole idea about that. Yes, Arnima has raised her hand as well. Go ahead, please. And then Kumarji.
Radhe Radhe. I just remembered that I don't know if you remember, we did the same Leela with kids on the for the family camp, and I just remembered one last line of Krishna, which was Nivan that time, and he said, "Dekha bola tha na, sabse bada chor main hi hu."
True. So Krishna Leelas are like that only, right? At the end of the day, yeah, I remember that Leela that we did. It was a beautiful Leela. But yeah, Krishna is like, however you take your mind to Krishna, it will give you the right result only. Even in scriptures, they say, Yen, Kain, Prakaren. However you can take your mind to God. And God also knows, based on our past sanskars, how to get us back on course, especially if we have ever had sanskars or seeds of Krishna Bhakti. So it could happen. We don't know why we came, but if Krishna Bhakti we are getting, it is pretty durlabh, and it is pretty precious, right? So we should make the most of it. And in our Bal Mukund, like yeah, Arni was pointing out, we do a lot of Krishna Leelas around it as well. And some of them are so beautiful, right? A lot of meditative stuff you can get out of that, especially if you go to Bhagavatam and stuff. This is one of the Leelas, and there's so many other Leelas as well. You can just, keep on thinking about on and on and on, and a great food for Roop Dhyan as well. Yes, Kumarji.
Yeah, Jai Shri Ram, Jai Hanuman. The thief actually went and met the biggest thief of all, the universal thief. He is Chitchor. He steals anyone's hearts who come near him, right? Or who try to access him in any form. So much that this thief...
He met his own clan. Yeah,
he met his own clan. And he even sang a song. आज से पहले आज से ज्यादा खुशी आज तक नहीं मिली. So, Jai Shri Ram.
Jai Shri Ram. Very good point, Kumarji. I think that was a good one. So one of the names for Krishna is Chittachor. And why is called Chittachor? Because, see, big ascetics who have taken Nirvikalp Samadhi. So they have finished their Chitt itself. Man, they have finished Man. So they said, okay, what is there to steal now? I have finished off my Man. When there is no Man, you have taken a Nirvikalp Samadhi, you have finished that aspect of it. What is there to steal about? So they have that pride. But if you have had some bhakti sanskars and you have done Krishna bhakti, and if he graces, then what he does is he will give you a chit. First of all, he'll give you a chit, not the old chit, purified chit, of course, and then steal it. So that much pull Krishna has. That is why he's called a chittachor. But that privilege he does not give to everybody. He gives it to his devotees, or possibly some yogi who has had some kind of a Krishna bhakti in one of his lifetimes. He may choose somebody, but that is what Krishna does. He'll first give you a chit and then attach, steal it. That is what one Gopi was complaining, right? She said that maybe one of the sessions I can bring in that Leela. It's a beautiful Leela where Maharajji recites it, Kahe chitta chora mora kanha. So Gopi is complaining, why did you steal my chit? I looked at you from my eyes. So the fault of was there of my eyes, but you are stealing my chit. And that too something which has been my accomplice across all the lifetimes. So if some fault is like, it's like Pappu has done the mistake, why are you punishing Appu? You should have given the punishment to my eyes. You are giving it to my chit. So it's a beautiful Leela. Maybe we'll do it one of the, thing. It's a very beautiful Leela. I can bring it to one of the sessions. But the point is here is he can steal the chit of you, and then it's a privilege to get your chit stolen by Krishna, because not everybody gets that privilege. He will pick up a chit that he likes, which is full of devotion, which is pure, which is could be selfless, but as long as it is full of full of thoughts for Krishna alone, then he would care to steal it in ways that he only knows. But that is the fast track to cleanse your mind, is the key message from the story. Okay, it will get cleansed very quickly if we do Rup Dhyan on Krishna itself. Now, Vishuddha Atma, now let's get into a bit of a discussion. I don't know how far we can go, because maybe we can have a discussion after the, do we have Sri Ramya who's already joined? Okay, maybe we can continue.
Yes.
So let's say a person did something hurtful to you a while ago. Right? We were talking, I think today's topic was don't harbor a grudge. So it's somewhat related to that. Now, if you continue to lament you are shackled to it, although the person who did this is long gone. That is where you're already built a kind of a hook there. Now, suppose you start seeing God in him like a Karam yogi does, you start to view this as a test so that you can learn the qualities of patience and forgiveness. Immediately, all the material consciousness dissolves because you see it coming from God. Okay, easier said than done. The key message here is, see, spirituality is all about expanding your bubble, right? Now, how do you expand it? This is your bubble. The first step, as scriptures tell us, the paradigm that it provides us is, do not see bad in others. Okay. Then you expand your bubble and say, see good in others. You take it others, see God in others. So good to God. And then see God in everything. Okay, that is the ultimate state. So basically, if you look at each one of these stages, if you see bad in others, it's like a fly, where fly sits. It will go to garbage and sit. So if your focus is always to find bad in others, we don't want to be a fly here. The better than fly is honeybee. It sits at something which is sweet, honey. It's better than a fly. Seeing good in others is ants. You put milk and water in front of us, milk, it will take the milk part of it and water part it will leave. Now, what is the technology that I don't know, no clue. Maybe somebody can ask Hans one of these days, how did Brahmaji made a Hans? It's a very interesting technology, but Hans is able to do that. And then seeing God in everything is Paramhans. Okay, like Shukdev, I could not find Paramhans anyway, so I thought this special Ultra Hans would probably fit the bill. Now, having said that, for all of these, then the question pops up, how would you tackle emotional, physical abuse with this spiritual paradigm? Okay, there's the question then, how would you tackle that now? If we go by this paradigm, this might be a good Thursday topic as well, but maybe if I have time, we can spend a couple of hands we can take to at least get the thought process going, because this is all good, but when it comes to the practical life, and especially if you are stuck in a relationship where there's physical abuse, domestic abuse, emotional abuse, how do you apply this paradigm there, right? This might be a good question around that. Maybe we can take a couple of hands before we have Sri Ramya do her presentation that I'm looking forward to, and then we can continue on this discussion as well, getting back to this slide or anything related to what Sri Ramya is going to talk about. Maybe one hand and then we get to her.
Go ahead, Samya.
Quickly reading out a comment, first of all, like that Manisha ji is saying, such a beautiful discussion is going on. Feel like Nitin sir, please Krishna Leela sunate jaye aur ruke hi nahi. Okay, and
Or Leela Lange. Maybe we can create a seva on finding beautiful Leelas and then.
I know that is lovely. I think we should have like that segment every day in the class. Krishna Leela segment. But anyways, so
By the
this
way, Mahashivratri is coming, so we will have a Krishna and Shiv Leela. Okay, that's one of my favorites. So we will bring it to one of the sessions, possibly on Thursday or Thursday only. Yeah, that's the only time we have. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead, please.
So regarding this question, yeah, so now I think that we have this knowledge, I at least can think one way. It's like, of course, don't see bad in others. If someone is doing this, it is out of their ignorance, but that does not mean that we are just tolerating it. Like, we should always remember what is our purpose in life, and whatever is hindering it, we have to avoid, at least save ourselves from that sort of situation. So we need to take appropriate action to save ourselves and get rid of hindrances which are coming in the way of our purpose. But again, not harbor any resentment, because that's not going to help. So
the key is not to have resentment, and of course we can take measures to protect ourselves, right? Scriptures give us the full right. Even if a snake comes to your territory, you're allowed to kill it, right? I'm not saying that you start killing people around, but in that paradigm, of course, we have a full right to protect ourselves. But the key is not to harbor resentment and bitterness in the process. That is the key. Also, there are multiple ways of looking at, because it becomes contextual as well, right? What you can't cure, you endure. And we can get on to that discussion. Maybe one more hand, and then we'll go to Shiramya, and we can revisit it if need be, because it's a pretty in-depth discussion we can have on this topic, and we'll continue on this on maybe Thursday or whenever we talk about it. Yes, Abhaji, please go ahead.
I agree with everything that you said and Sandhyaji, but it's also important, like if you're going through a turbulence, to talk to the right people and get the right advice, because a lot of people, the more you talk to, the more advice they give you, the more resentment you build. So it's important you talk to the right person and get the right advice and learn to accept and learn and move on, but not just sit with it, because the thing is we harbor it within ourselves for years to come.
True.
Right. And that's where problems come, is we keep talking. Sometimes accept, forgive, forget, and move on. And learn that lesson. Thank you, Radhe Radhe.
Let go and let God. Very true. And then the counsel that you're getting is very important too, right? They may give you some liquid, say, hey, put it on, it'll douse the fire, but you may think it is water, but it might be kerosene, right? Who knows? So the kind of counsel you're getting is important as well. Great. Over to you, Shri Ramya. I wanted to give you, time so that you can complete your presentation, and we can come back to this question or anything related to your presentation as well. So let's give it to Shri Ramya, and we are all eyes and ears now for Shri Ramya. Vinamra team, please go ahead. I'm going to stop share. All yours.
Yeah. So it's Ananya team. It's just a small.
Sorry, Ananya team. That's why I said we should talk about Seva teams more often. Okay, now I'm confusing between Vinamra and Ananya as well. No worries. Please go ahead.
Let me know once my screen is visible. Yeah.
Yes, it is visible. Sadhana Shivir. Some nostalgic pictures I can see.
Maybe you want to put in
the screen mode. Screen play.
So basically, I wanted to share the experience that I had at the Sadhana Shivir that we went in December. It's perhaps too late, but I'm hoping it's better late than never. So this was in Bara in December. And these are a few glimpses from the Shivir I'd attached it here. So the Shivir began like this early morning. We would have a prayer. And then we would have some kirtans, and then Swamiji's lectures, and again kirtans again, followed by delicious lunch, breakfast, lunch, and everything. And it was completely immersive. So as part of the first day, as part of the second day, the early morning prayer that we had, I saw that there were people who were choking while they were singing. And beside me, there was a teenager, hardly in her high school or something. And the girl was choking. She was crying. She had tears in her eyes. And I could see that with many people with the morning prayer. And I had the question that why am I not getting this tears? Why am I not having this tears during the prayer or during the kirtan? So as usual, after the prayer, when I met Nitinji, when we met Nitinji, I asked Nitinji, like, why am I not getting those tears? And Nitinji said, bhav is very essential to get those kind of tears. They would have practiced and they have developed that bhav, and that is why they're getting those kind of tears. And I asked Nitinji, do you get tears as well? He said, yes, sometimes I do. I was thinking, why am I not developing such a bhav? Why don't I get those tears? What I see in others? Why am I not having that bhav? And I was thinking, and we had a breakfast, and we went inside again. And this time it was time for Maharajji's lectures. Maharajji's lecture had come, and there was a topic on practicing bhakti, practicing the sadhana and all. And at the end, Maharajji made the statement. He said that, why don't you guys have tears when you are doing your prayer or when you're remembering Krishna? Why you don't have it? And he said the reason is laparvahi and carelessness. And he said that is the answer. It's because of your carelessness that you don't get those tears. You're not having that seriousness. You don't have the tears while you're praying. And I was like, this was exactly the question in my mind. And it was such a timing that Maharajji's lectures was played, and Maharajji answered the question that it was laparvahi, it was carelessness. And I was thinking for a while, and I knew I was trying to recollect my childhood days. I mean, I thought carelessness was cute. I mean, in my childhood, when I lost my pencil box, or when I lost my hanky, or when I even misplaced my exam pad before the exam, and I had also misplaced my books, which my mom had to find it later. And I was always doing homework just before deadlines, waking up in the morning, and sometimes I was overconfident. And this was me during childhood. And my mom always used to advise me, don't be so careless, don't be so careless. So I knew that I was careless, but I didn't know that carelessness could be so disastrous or so dangerous. I was actually thinking, yeah, Maharaji said, maybe it's carelessness. But then after the shiver, I came back. And after a few days, I actually was thinking on it, and then I saw online if I could find the same lecture. I didn't find the same lecture again, but I found a different lecture in which Swamiji specifically talks about carelessness, the dangers about carelessness, and how to overcome about carelessness. So the first thing he said is, it's because of this attitude. We have dekha jayega. Let's see what happens. And it's because of this attitude, that the carelessness keeps growing. And then if we don't take care of our carelessness, so this is what ultimately happens. From Dheka Jayega, we will, get into Bhoga Jayega. He said that the 8.4 million cycles, you keep repeating. So this is your human birth. And if you don't take it seriously with your bhakti, and if you think, Dheka Jayega, what happens tomorrow, what happens next, then ultimately you will end up in a Bhoga Jayega. So this is how dangerous carelessness could be. And the Dheka Jayega attitude is the root cause of the carelessness too. And then with Maharajji's lectures, he continued about some more reasons and how we can overcome it. So he said procrastination, again, this is one of the reasons for our carelessness. And Maharajji said this, it was very striking. Suppose you wake up tomorrow and you don't get to see tomorrow, then God only calculates your account till now, till today. So you think that you may have a lot of time for bhakti in future, but you never know how much time you have. So and he said one thing is, if you have feelings for God at the time of death, you will surely get a human body again where you can finish the rest of your devotion. So it's so he advises against procrastination. And the next advice that Maharajji gives us is to contemplate in isolation. And truthfully, honestly, because it is just with us, not with anybody else. So, and you could even have Krishna in front of you when you're answering this honestly. So you had 24 hours of your time. So out of this 24 hours, how much time did you spend on your body, on your mind? And how much time did you actually spend on your soul? Like, how much time have I actually spent on my soul? And we can say that, I don't have free time and all of this. But, you would definitely have some free time in between of your work. So did you make use of that free time? What did you do in that free time? Like, did you actually contemplate on your soul? So it's just a measure every day when you wake up in isolation. Just think, how much time did I spend for my body and my mind today? And how much time I've spent on my soul today? And he said, do this in front of Krishna. So this, I felt, initially I felt a little bit embarrassed because I hardly spent any time on my soul. And this is in my to-do list. It's not that I've started doing it, but as like, yes, I should be honest with myself here. And the next advice that Maharajji gives us, look at the materialists, like especially the businessmen when they make the money. It's like every single money is counted. Every rupee, it makes the crores of rupees for them. and they wouldn't leave any opportunity to make money. Like if there is a way, it's like, yeah, why not we use it? Like if you know that there is an investment which gives you good returns, it's like, yeah, why not invest it? Why not make use of it when it is there? So we should have a similar attitude towards earning spiritual credits also. So just like how every rupee matters, like even every name, a small chintan about God, everything matters. So even a small spiritual credit, we have to earn it whenever and wherever possible. So Maharaj ji says this, din mein kitne baar chal rahe ho? How many times you walk in a day? So while walking, at least, why not make use of it? You can make use of that opportunity of walking and say Radhe Radhe. So you keep walking throughout the day, and you could keep saying Radhe Radhe throughout the day. And Maharaj ji says that if you're not contemplating on God, you are contemplating on the world. And Nitinji has emphasized this time and again in many classes that mind can't be in two places. It's either the world or God. So if we have to make a habit of contemplating on the God, and otherwise, if we are not contemplating on God, we are automatically contemplate on the world, and that's very dangerous. And the next advice that Maharaj gives is, if you have some free time, you might be using your free time towards your distraction. Like we keep craving for free time, but think again about your free time. So Maharaj actually told us that if you don't have anything to do, even if you sleep, that is still better than contemplating on material things. Because contemplating on material things is kusang, and your mind will get attached to it, and that is taking you towards destruction. So whatever free time you get in between your work, you have to make use of it towards your devotion. You have to keep chanting Radhe Radhe. And usually whenever we have a bit of free time, we'll be like, okay, let me open YouTube, let me listen to some music here and there, let me watch a video or something, or some news. But what we are doing with all of this is we might be getting more attached to the material world. So it might be taking towards our destruction. So using our free time carefully is something which Maharaj ji has advised. And yeah, the last but not the least, and I'm so thankful it came at such a perfect timing. Nitinji told about the bee, about the fly and the bee. So the fly always looks for faults in others and sees. And Maharaji says that avoid this at any cost, the fault finding in others. He said this is one of the most dangerous things. And he said that don't look at faults of others, and they will occupy your space and it will dirty your mind too. And if we have to look at faults, we have to look at our own faults, and we have to improve ourselves. He said, even if we do this for a week and see, and if we see what are my faults and how I could improve. And he said, you just do this and see where you will reach and where this can take you. So Maharaji has cautioned time and again from fault finding, and rather to introspect on our own faults and to improve ourselves. So these are some of the nuggets which I took from Maharaj's lecture, which I heard on coming back, and also from the experience in my Shivir. So carelessness is something which we really have to overcome in our, if we have to take our sadhana one step ahead and be more serious. And I'm the most careless person, so I felt that I mean, this thing applies to me first, and let me share it with others so that I can make some commitment and I can start making small changes. So I would urge everyone that let's overcome carelessness together. That's it from my side.
Thank you, Sri Ramya, for first of all, that's so sweet of you to take this initiative and taking us back to that nostalgic trip that we had to the Guru Ashram to Banara, and then presenting the key nuggets from Maharajji's lectures. They are very hard hitting. Each one of them can really hit you to the core if you think about it. If you just pick up one nugget, that can change our life, right? So reminds us how much work we need to do on us on a day-to-day basis. So thank you so much for presenting that for the benefit of the wider audience, right, who could not attend all those lecture series. I'm so glad you picked up the key things out of it and took that initiative to present it to all of us. We'll make a couple of quick announcements and then we'll take hands. I think there were a couple of announcements that we wanted to make. But thank you so much, Sri Ramya and Monica ji. Please hold on to that, and Rahul and all of this will continue with Sri Ramya's excellent presentation. You wanted to make a couple of announcements while everybody's there, and then we can continue with this conversation.
Yeah, it's so difficult to hold on to not talk about it, but switch to announcements, but I'll try. Yes, so announcements. Amrita Vaniji, you want to first talk about YTT or should I talk about?
Go ahead.
Okay, so first announcement is about a newly launched challenge, Kirtan Challenge. So all of us are advised to participate in it. And as Sri Ramya ji was saying, all the laparwahi that we do, if we start listening to bhajans, especially Maharaj ji's bhajans, I think they will start settling in automatically. So let's try and participate in this Kirtan Challenge. What we have to do is simply record our video, like just sing 2 lines of any 2 our favorite lines from any bhajan and explain the meaning of it. And that video can be uploaded. We will put the details in the chat. So this is leading to the upcoming exciting Bhakti Kirtan retreat for the first time that's going to happen in Dallas with Swamiji. And as you have seen in Sri Ramya ji's presentation, how a Shivir and retreat with Swamiji is, so not to be missed. And second announcement is actually a request for Seva. If anybody is interested in participating in helping with writing the summary for the Daily Wisdom from Bhagavad Gita class, please put in your name in the feedback tracker and we can take it forward from there. So I just wanted to make these 2 announcements for now.
Yeah, so yeah, that daily summary which Sandhya sends out, if anybody is interested to, take the baton from her, you will have big and slim shoes to fill, okay? So please put in your name and we'll be more than happy to get you started on this seva. So it's a very fulfilling seva, and I can assure you, you'll show up on the podiums when you do that summary, because that's where the quiz questions are prepared from as well. So it's very fulfilling seva, as well as something that will enable you to go deeper into some of the stuff that we discuss in the class. So please put in your name and we will surely be in touch with you on that. Okay, with that, now let's come back to Sri Ramya's presentation and what we've been discussing. Sri Ramya, the most heartening aspect of your presentation was it's better to sleep, okay, than to do kusang. I have taken that advice to heart, because that's the only thing I end up doing without even having to put up effort. All right. Yes, let's take the hands now. Yes, Monica, please go ahead.
Yeah. Before that, just one quick announcement. On Saturday, we have an online Kahoot quiz for Shivratri. So please do join for that. It is on Saturday, 10 a.m. CST.
Please do. I mean, a lot of hard work has gone behind putting together that quiz. And I can assure you, once you take that quiz, your life will not be the same again. Okay, and you'll see a lot of familiar faces there as well.
For good. Nitinji, just add that.
For good, yeah.
Thank you for waiting, Monica. Go ahead, please, Monica.
Radhe Radhe, Radhe Radhe everybody. Sri Ramya ji, thank you so much for taking this much effort. I mean, seriously, because when she was explaining, I was making notes in my head that, I can talk about this. And then she continued and, another nugget. Then I thought this. And then eventually I forgot everything, but then few things remained with me. So I'll just talk about it. Which is, first of all, that Shiva that I couldn't make it for it, right? So I was like, why did I miss it? And how could I miss it? But then again, Maharaji's wish, he gave me this vira. So I know it's increasing day by day. Second, when Sri Ramya ji, when you mentioned that you were thinking about something and then Maharaji's video played, this is not happening just with you. I wanted to share this with you because many senior devotees and the new ones also have experienced similar stuff. Because when I was also experiencing the same thing with Swamiji, I happened to share this with the senior disciples in RKT, and they also mentioned the same thing, that same time, same day, same lecture, many people were thinking different things, and all their questions were answered at the same time. So obviously nothing less than miracle, but then good that we are talking about this, and I'm also looking forward to the Thursday sessions now, because we'll talk more, because these kind of things will actually again reinforce faith and everything, right? And this Maya is so strong. Like Nitinji says, never underestimate it. The way you have explained it, Sri Ramya ji, it was so understandable for everybody, right? And then you insisted on every point that back of our heads, we know that, yes, it is there, but we don't remember. So reiterating it, this satsang, this whole forum is actually literally helping each of us to, walk home. So thank you so much. I know it took a lot of effort, and thank you for doing that for us. And I know I forgot a few points, but then thank you. Radhe Radhe.
Now
Sorry.
she's taken a lead from the Seva team, and other captains have to do something now for their teams as well. So Shri Ramya, you're leading by example. Very well done.
Leelas. I got a point, Leelas.
One thing, most important thing I want to mention, that nothing is my own. Everything I took from Maharaj's video, which I heard and coming back, and I'll also put the link in the group. It is a very beautiful video. It's very hitting when you hear it directly from Maharaji. I'll post that as well. Everything I've taken from Maharaji, nothing was my own.
Yes, for sure. Yes, Rahul is ready with his one-liner. Okay, Radhe Radhe, Govind Radhe. Please go ahead, Rahul. No, no, you are on mute. Okay, we can't read you. Sorry.
Unmuted him, but he cannot.
Again, we can't lip read you. Okay, Sandhya, in the meantime, you can go.
Meanwhile, let me take
Okay, now your headphone is on.
Rahulji, can you?
Maybe third time lucky. Rahul?
Radhe, can you hear me now?
Now we can hear you. Third time lucky. Here you go.
Radhe, Radhe, I just wanted to say, Shri Ramya ji, you just presented this beautiful crash course on Maharaji's philosophy. And हिंदी में बोलेंगे, आपने जितने पॉइंट्स बताए ना, उसको देख के शर्म आ रही है अभी आज की डेट में। सबसे पूछिए, जितनी बातें बताएं उसमें से एक भी फॉलो नहीं हो रही है। So I think we have a long way to go. I mean, at least for me. Radhe, Radhe.
It's for me too, Rahulji. I'm in the same word. It was very hitting, so I thought I'll share it. Thank you.
You're hard hitting for sure. Think about it. Okay, who's next? I see 3 more hands. Who's our co-host? Okay, I don't want to take that chance.
Go ahead, Samiranji.
Radhe Radhe everyone. Very nice, like beautiful presentation by Sri Ramyajit. And I wanted to mention that this is actually what I was thinking just like last night, that when amateur like who do bhakti and those who come into spirituality, right? There are many people surrounded, or the friends that are there, who will say like abhi tumhari umar hi kya hai, why are you doing this, why are you falling into this trap and everything. But like what they actually mean is, they will say that पहले संसार देख लो, पहले भोग लो, फिर उसके बाद करना. But that is where we get stuck, and we like fall into the trap of Maya again. And also one more thing, that Abhaji mentioned, that to have a right guru. I also thought one thing, that those who have like spent lots and lots of time, like years in bhakti, right? Where people can also say in that stage कि हमने इतनी साल भक्ति की, but कुछ हाथ नहीं लगा. So in that way also, to have advice and right guru, we must like get the right advice from that guru की जो ऐसे बोल रहा है वो गुरु कहलाने के लायक नहीं है. Because like शायद उनके अंदर कुछ कमी होगी जो उनको भगवान की दर्शन नहीं हुए अभी तक. That's what I want to say.
Okay, धन्यवाद Samiranji. Very nice. Thank you. Who next? Who's next?
Kashi. Go ahead, please. Radhe Radhe. Cash.
Sandhya, sorry, they're making you wait. I can see. Shri Ramya, it was first of all very nice to get to know you in person. And it is very inspiring how you're willing to turn the mirror inwards and do the self-inquiry. We should all be doing this to, intentionally look at what we need to work on and be very careful, as you're saying, in working on those things. So thank you.
Yeah, I think these nuggets were very beautifully presented. I think you are paying a lot of attention to all the discourses, and you just picked the cream out of it and presented to us. So very nice. Procrastination, the laziness is our biggest enemy. I'm the biggest culprit for that. So what can I say? Anyways, who's next now? Faces or names?
I'll take Sandhya. She's been waiting. Thank you, Sandhya, for waiting.
Thank you. So, first of all, Sri Ramya ji, you nailed it. And based upon our conversation so far, I could really sense it. It was coming straight from your heart. So, something that comes straight from heart touches straight into the hearts. And I think we all felt it. And it is Maharajji's words, right? Again, reiterated, Maharajji's words, whenever are presented, they always make it beautiful. So, Thank you once again. And I just love this word laparwahi, and I'll keep contemplating ki no laparwahi. So great, Shinamya ji. I loved it. Yeah.
Yeah, your words
Lots
cut
of
through our.
punches.
Yeah, what?
Lots of punches. I wanted to say that, like in her presentation throughout, full of punches. So that was also great. Yeah.
Your
Sorry.
presentation cut through our heart like a hot knife would cut through a butter. Okay. All right. Who's next?
Anita ji, go ahead, please.
Anita ji.
Yeah, Radhe Radhe. Beautiful Sri Ramya ji. Like the punchline was देखा जाएगा तो भोगा जाएगा. That was so powerful. And even though I had seen the slides, but I waited for your presentation because I knew this beautiful presentation skill you have. You will going to nail it. So I was waiting for that to hear from your side. So it was completely powerful presentation, and thank you so very much for that. And I loved the pictures, and I was thinking like I wish I would have been the part of that shivir with you all of you guys. Yeah, maybe next time whenever possible. Thank you so very much. Loved it, all the pictures. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Taji. Nothing is mine. Everything came from Maharaji. Even the presentation, I never give it so well. I don't know what happened at that moment. It's like he took over it. It's his word.
See, Maharajji gives the permission to get his knowledge on record and get it presented. Okay, so you got that privilege. Let me tell you that not everybody gets that, like just like that, right? So you took initiative, you got that privilege, and we all benefited from it, right? I would say present all the nuggets if you could, maybe over the message as well. Just take the distill of it, write a note on CIC. It'll be very helpful. Just we can put it on our walls and say, oh, these are the things we need to really drill down our heads on a day-to-day basis. Very nice. So if you do 10,000 steps, you would have said 10,000 times Radhe Radhe. So basically you would have collected 10,000 jewels in a day, right? So very nice. Okay. Swati ji and then Minu ji. Swati ji, please go ahead.
Please go ahead, Swati ji.
Yeah, Radhe Radhe. Beautiful presentation by Ramya ji. And I also think the same way that we are all doing Laparoi. We are all in the same boat. We still have this knowledge and still we don't contemplate and do this kirtans with Rupdhan and all that. We full day, we are like wasting some time here and there. Whatever you added the points, sir. Like sometime we will do devotion, but half time we waste also our time. That should not happen. So thank you for that or reminding all the points. Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe. Thank you. Yes, I think let's read the comments in the chat as well. If we have a lot of accolades coming in from Sri Ramya, so let's give her some pride and test her now. Let's first take Meenu ji. Yes, Meenu ji, please go ahead.
Go ahead, Meenu ji.
Radhe Radhe. Thanks a lot, Sri Ramya, for reminding us about Maharaj's golden words. And it's a very good, reminder that we should not be careless and should not postpone. And we should take at any moment, anything can happen to anybody. And we should, take it very seriously. And instead of holding grudge against other people or thinking about other people, we should focus on ourselves and save our own soul by thinking of Hari Guruji all the time. Thank you.
Thank you, Meenu ji. Very nicely summarized. Nisha ji.
Please go ahead.
Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe.
So, first of all, the Krishna Leelas today were amazing, amazing, amazing. And Sri Ramya ji, great presentation. And based on today's topic, should we stay with the people who create problems in our life and test our patience? Or should we leave them and get out of that environment? See, if we will be staying with them, this will purify us and will teach us the tolerance and patience. Can't we see the scenario in this manner that we should be around such people rather than leaving them? this thought actually came in my mind after reading a story from the book Questions You Always Wanted to Ask, where one man used to abuse a sage wherever he goes. So one day that man passed away. So sage's follower informed his guru with a lot of joy. But to the surprise, the sage became fearful, and the disciple asked why he was so disturbed by that French man's death. And the guru explained that he was helping me in my sadhana. Because of him, I was learning tolerance and practicing forgiveness. So now that he's no longer in my life, I'm worried. How will I get purified?
Yeah, I mean, that is a sage, right? So it's a bit contextual as well. Now think of it like if you are a sapling or a small plant and you are, you are exposed to a lot of sunlight, lot of wind, lot of rain, or maybe a goat, it'll eat you. But once you have gotten sufficient roots to weather that kind of a thing, then sure, bring it on. So it really depends on what stage of life and the spiritual not trajectory or evolution we are in. I mean, you have to take a personal call around that, right? How much is enough for you to tolerate? And then you have to calibrate it accordingly. Because if do not have the capacity and it's taking your mind space, a lot of people, they get worried, right? So, oh my God, that person told me to this, and the whole day they will thinking about those words only. And how can they take it? It can regress their spiritual journey as opposed to progressing it. So really do take a call. If it doesn't bother you, or if you can process it right in a right perspective, that okay, let me tolerate it and not think about it, continue to think about God and simply tolerate it. Yes, it will purify it in no time. But then if it is taking your mind space and then you are just thinking, oh my God, why did he say that? And then you're waiting to tell it to another person and take their opinion or get back, then it could be counterproductive. So I think we have to calibrate it. But yes, spiritually speaking, if you can simply tolerate such stuff, process it properly in our head without losing our, peace of mind, and putting it in perspective, then there's nothing better than that. In fact, it's an opportunity to reflect on yourself, because Maharaji says even if somebody says, tell you a gadha, you might be an IAS officer, you are still a gadha, because you are not yet God realized. So you'll be gadha only, right? Until that you are a jnani, you are still under ignorance. And if you think about our intellectual ability, it's how much 4 inches of space here between these two. Hopefully, there's no tunnel in between. So if you have that, you put all that width together of the entire planet, 7.5 or 8 billion people. That is 1/4 the width of, or the intellectual capacity that Brihaspati and Saraswati have. And then think of Brahmaji who has done this creation, right? So we are insignificant in that sense, but we are not able to take words. But if you have that ability to put it in perspective, anyway, whatever this person said, it may not be 100% right, but there is some iota of truth in it. Even if somebody says, stupid, you are useless, we are actually. But if you can tolerate it and process it, then yes. But if you cannot, then of course we have to calibrate it accordingly. So, but good points, Manisha ji. Nevertheless, it's a good discussion. Let's take a few more hands. Yes.
A quick comment. Pallavi ji says, powerful presentation, Sri Ramya ji. So many important takeaways. Thanks for sharing. So I also echo the same thing. I think I have many takeaways to Ramya ji. Thank you so much for the presentation.
Ramya, you may look featherweight in boxing, but you pulled a lot of solid punches today. Okay, that was pretty powerful. Very nice. Okay, let's take a few more hands.
Yes. Kumarji, please go ahead.
Jai Shri Ram, Jai Hanuman. So when Sri Ramya ji was saying about not getting tears, or from my experience, I get goosebumps too when I listen to very devotional, very inspiring stories. I was just thinking, Sri Ramya, your first name itself has Sri Ram in it. So how did you forget that, right? So I'll tell you, every time I listen to any Parayan of Sundarkand or Hanuman Chalisa from M.S. Subbulakshmi, it just, I don't know, tears just flow from my eyes. It's uncontrollable. It's so powerful, this again, I'm talking about Sri Ram, of course, he's no different from Sri Krishna as well. And even for that matter, Sudama's story about Sri Krishna, that kind of, draws me to tears. How about Shabari's story? And how about the boatman? Who are boatman? How much knowledge does he have to even ask Rama that, we are both boatmen, right? So I'm a bit partial towards Sri Ram and Hanuman, but I think, once you kind of get attached to these beautiful forms of God and their leelas, it just comes, I think you just have to identify which one, and then suddenly it's just so magical. Thank you. Jai Shri Ram.
Thank you. I think that's a very nicely articulated, Kumarji. So now we'll call you Shri Ram. Yeah. Yes, let's take a few more hands.
Go ahead, Pratisha ji.
Radhe Pratisha.
Radhe Radhe everyone. Radhe Radhe sir. I loved Sri Ramya ji's presentation, and I was also on the same line, not able to cry for God, but I have this problem that not able to cry for Guru. So, so I solved it. How means like I wondered why is it? No, I'm able to cry for God, but not for Guru. It's just because we are considering both different. So, and also that's one point that if you think that he's also God, then that you will have no problem in being grateful. So that brings the point of gratitude, that because we are grateful for everything that they have given, because without them I don't think we can even think that we need to purify our mind or nothing. And even Bhagwan Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, he's saying that those people who just keep taking and not give back, they are thieves. So if you see, then selfishness is directly proportional to being thief. So, and that, when we are continuously being grateful to the knowledge that our Guru is giving us, then never differentiate between God and Guru. And obviously, directly proportional, your mind will get purified and selflessness will directly come. So selfishness is being a thief, and selflessness is being attached to God, being grateful to Guru for introducing. So that naturally, brought all those emotions back. So yeah, cry for Guru also. It's so amazing. It purifies. That's thank you.
I think you hit the key point where it's only because of Guru. Guru only introduces us to Govind, right? So first they say Hari ki kripa se mile Guruvar pyare, Guru ki kripa se mile Giridhar pyare. So this is how it works. God arranges so that you meet a Guru, and then Guru arranges so that you meet God. And even God's grace flows via Guru. Right? So it's not that Vande Mataram connection that, okay, you'll go from point A to point B. It has to come via station. That station is Guru, basically. This is how it works. Beautiful point, Pratusha. I think good insights, like you always present. So thank you for that. All right, let's take a couple of hands, and then Sandhya is going to do something that has never been done in the history of daily wisdom from Bhagavad Gita before. She's going to talk about the entire Sumiran Karle Mana summary today. Yes, let's take Rahul. Rahul, go ahead, please.
Go ahead, Rahul ji.
Yeah, Radhe Radhe. Just wanted to add, Radhe Radhe Govind Radhe, Jagat Guruttam Shri Maharaj Ji का सर्वोच्च सिद्धांत 12 आश्रम अटेंडी श्री रम्या जी द्वारा reiterate करवा दे. राधे राधे.
Thank you. Radhe Radhe.
Outstanding, Shri Ramya. Yeah, I'm so glad you took this initiative, and it's a pleasure to have you. I mean, every time I meet Shri Ramya, she's like, okay, no matter where you are, I'm going to come and meet you. Okay, so she is so sweet. And thank you so much for bringing this to our session. And it's a privilege to have you in our session. So thank you so much for that. Okay, now, yeah, go ahead, Sandhya.
It's like today's session, Nitinji, grace has been pouring in abundance. I'm like, I get to the excited state. I think I can come down. No, one after the other. Everybody is coming up with things which is like, I say, Maharaji is sitting and making everyone speak. It's like so beautiful. I can't even describe it in words, but today's session was like really, really special. Starting from the Leela that you started describing, and then just it kept on going. And thanks to Shiramya ji as well. It was
And another reason it is special, I'll tell you, history is made because Ravi ji is on camera today. Never happened in the history of Daily Wisdom. Maybe accidentally, aware of it.
10 minutes will
Ravi ji, we are able to see R only. V is not visible. Can you please? Thank you for coming on camera today. Okay.
Thank you so much. Awesome presentation, Ramya ji. Beautiful.
See, Shamya, you shed light on so many things that prompted Ravi ji to come out of his hiding.
I don't know how it came.
How it was meant to be today. Thank you. Good to see you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Very nice. Thank you. Thanks to see you.
And there's a comment for Shri Ramya ji from Payal ji. I'll just quickly read it. Beautiful presentation, Shri Ramya ji. What one Maharaji's advice that has stuck in mind and head is hatao or lagao concept. Yahan se hatao, wahan lagao. So our monkey mind will keep distracting us, but this formula is helping me a lot personally. Hatao or lagao. So.
हटाओ और लगाओ कि मन की मानोगे तो मंकी बन जाओगे, right? So next series we are going to do one only, mind. We are going to start that series because we are pretty much closing it out on our soul soup segment for this. The next one is going to be monkey mind. We're going to talk about that, mind management, how to mind and mend your mind, because the mind has its mind of its own. Okay, now what is the next? We are moving to the devotional segment. I think wanted to summarize the whole. Maybe you can go through that. I would give you the privilege to do that and maybe sing one line. And then the next series that we are going to start, it's not going to be from tomorrow because we have a hard stop. It's going to be from Wednesday, where we see it's a coincidence again. We do the the Prem Ras Siddhant, getting some of the messages from that, the Kashyap segment, and the same day we are going to start Maharajji's other crown jewel, which is Bhakti Shatak, the composition, which is like the essence of all the scripture. So we're going to start that series on Wednesday as well. Yes, you want to go through that, Sandhya? Go ahead. You take the privilege for introducing this bhajan, and now you can do the summary as well.
Okay, I mean, I can read it. So I think I'll just read the lines. I mean, because
if you want to sing it, that's fine too. I mean, but I think
no.
more sense. Go ahead.
So
Go ahead.
yeah. All right. So I'll first read the English and then I can just conclude with one line in singing the Hindi one. Okay. So meditate every moment, O my mind, on the delighter of Radharani's heart. Hari and Guru alone are yours, O my mind, surrender only to them. This world is a Maika, a girl's parental house. You will have to go to the house of your beloved. No one in the world is yours. One day you will have to renounce everyone. The world was created for the sake of the body. The father of the world belongs to you. The world is made of Maya. Only God belongs to you. No one in the world is yours. Even the body is not your own. True happiness cannot be found in the world. The delighter of Radha's heart is unlimited happiness. The world provides happiness for the body, whereas God possesses unlimited bliss for the soul. O mind, worldly happiness is an illusion. Your happiness lies only in God. Worldly happiness is like a child's toy. Chattu Gunguna. True happiness lies in the lotus feet of Hari. Everyone in the world is selfish. Only God is your true well-wisher. The world is subject to destruction. The soul is eternal. Even the celestial abode is made of Maya. As such, it will also come to an end. That's not it. Next one starts now. Worldly happiness is fleeting, and godly happiness is unlimited and everlasting. Expecting happiness from the world is like churning water and expecting to extract ghee. In the end, the only result of your effort is the effort itself. O my mind, your Lord and Master is the soul, and the soul's happiness is only in Lord Krishna. Why are you accepting the body to be yourself? The body is made of Maya. The body is made of Maya, and the world is also made of Maya. The soul is divine and eternal, whereas the body is made of the 5 material elements. The soul belongs to God. This is why God alone is ours. Since the soul is a fraction of Shyam Sundar, only Shyam Sundar belongs to you. All worldly relationships are but a dream. Your true and eternal relationship is only with God, and the aim of the soul is to purify the mind through the practice of devotion. Accept the Vedic truth that God dwells within everyone's heart. So why search for happiness in the outside world? Your beloved is sitting in your heart. The other paths are mere a deception. Only devotion will lead to the beloved. Renounce all deception, O mind, and worship him without any selfish desire. O my mind, you have spoiled everything for me. Now you are the one who has to fix the situation. Even celestial gods desire the human body, which is very difficult to attain. The body is made of dirt, and one day it will merge with dirt. Everything will remain behind when you leave. Only devotion to God will accompany you. O my mind, purchase the priceless treasure of divine love by paying the price of your tears. O my mind, ask God for only the boon of divine love. In love, there are no strict rules. Just shed tears for him and purchase the beloved. Of the 9 ways of practicing devotion, meditation is the main devotion. Meditate on him by practicing exclusive and continuous devotion to him. Purify the mind, then the Guru will bestow divinity upon you. Your divine beloved will be attained only through divine senses. Divine love is received only through grace, not through any means. Even your body will not accompany you after death. Only devotion to God will go with you. Devotion to God means to cry like a child and begging him for the gift of divine love. Love and serve Lord Krishna as your master, friend, child, and beloved. Says Sri Kripalu, the merciful Krishna alone is yours. So says he in the eternal Vedas. So that's the entire bhajan that we did over the span of last many weeks. And I'll just sing one line in Hindi, how this bhajan starts. Sumiran karle mana, chin chin radha ramana. Sumiran karle mana, chin chin radha ramana. Yeah, done.
Very nice. Thank you, Sandhya, for this beautiful summary and compiling it together and reading it out. Each word is like loaded with wisdom, and but Maharaji simplifies it so nicely, right? It's like no half measures with regards to Tattva Gyan, to the point, precise, and just exactly what you need. So it's time to get upgrade in our DLs. I think we all have DLs, right? Not the driver's license. Divine love is what we need to go for now. Very beautiful. So thank you so much. I think this was one of the best series that we have had. I'm glad we are doing it this way now, taking Maharajji's compositions and then reciting a couple of lines. And I'm looking forward to the next one, which is going to be Bhakti Shatak from here on. So we're going to attempt to do that as well. Great. So with that, we come to the end of today's session. Any last parting thoughts from anyone?
Just this, that the Shivir with Swamiji, the holy sadhana Shivir is starting in a day from now in India. So everybody can attend it online at the least. So do not miss out on it after you heard from Sri Ramyaji's how one shivir can just transform your life, right? So
one shivir can transform your life. One yatra to Guru Dham can change a lot of things. And holy is anyway, the name itself is holy, right? So please do attend it, even if it's
and
online.
even mental yatra to Guru Dham can transform your life. So, you know, even attending online can be very, very beneficial.
Very true. Great. So with that, I think tomorrow we will continue on our this shloka. I think tomorrow maybe one more session would be needed, and then we have tomorrow we have a hard stop, so we'll pace it accordingly. But yeah, I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. So thank you again for turning up in full enthusiasm and all the engagement. Thank you, Shiramya. I know your office cab came, so we can't thank you in person right now. But to all of you, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Have a good rest of your day and a great rest of your evening. Thank you from my side. Radhe Radhe. Please fill out the feedback tracker on the save announcement that we did. Okay. Otherwise, we have a few people in mind. We'll provide you that privilege automatically. So, all right. Thank you.
Thank you, Radhe Radhe.
Thank you, Radhe Radhe.